smoked all of these? That's crazy. I just feel like I just bought these. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back. Welcome back to my Absolutely Fried podcast. My name is Jezabelle, and every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we get absolutely fried together on Kick and Twitch. How is everybody feeling tonight? I'm feeling great. I showed up 2 minutes early because I'm very excited for dinner tonight. I'm ready to get to dinner already. So I've been sitting here just like waiting to smoke. I'm like, oh my God. How is everyone feeling? If you're watching on YouTube, hello. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you're more of a listener than a viewer, just know that this podcast is available to you on every streaming platform. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Samsung, Amazon, you name it, it's there. Just search Absolutely Fried, or you can check the description for the links. Also, don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram at Absolutely Fried Podcast. Guys, I'm feeling pretty good. I am feeling pretty good. I don't know what's happening to me. Maybe it's like legitimate frontal lobe development, but like I'm being more responsible. I'm being more responsible. Let me make sure I have the right lighter. I've noticed that I'm being more responsible ever since I started, like, do y'all remember, like, what was it, like a week or two ago, I was like telling you guys that I started making this like smoothie every day. And the smoothie that I started making, let me make sure. I feel like I can't hear my music right now. There we go. The smoothie I started making was like packed with like nutrients and like vitamins and stuff. And the whole reason why I was making it was because I felt like I wasn't getting my nutrients or my vitamins in. Well, it's not even just felt like I knew for a fact that I wasn't. Because I just honestly eat like shit. I can't even lie to you. But ever since then, I just started like focusing on doing other things as well. I started getting my nutrients in, and I was like, okay, I go out all the time to get like coffee and shit. And I was like, what if I start making my coffee at home? Which is something that I have absolutely never wanted to do. I do not like making my coffee at home, or at least I didn't like doing it. It wasn't that like it didn't taste good. It does taste good, but it doesn't taste like when they make it at like a coffee shop. Like it tastes good, right? But it doesn't taste like the coffee shop for some reason. I don't know what it is. No matter how much I try, it again tastes good, but not like the coffee shop. And that was my biggest issue. I wanted it to taste like exactly how it would be when I went out. I don't know, maybe it's just the vibe of it or something. Shout out to PreXXU for subscribing. Thank you so much. And FearNick23 for subscribing. Thank you so much. But recently I just decided I'm going to attempt it. I'm going to just start making my coffee at home. So I did. I started making all these different iced coffees. I started making like matcha lattes. I just started making it all at home. And today was a genuine test of my commitment to that. Because today I got up, I went to the kitchen, I looked in the fridge, and I saw I'm out of milk for my coffee. The first thought that went through my head was, go to Dunkin' Donuts. Go to Dunkin' Donuts right now. That was the first thought. I can't even lie to you. The little devil on my shoulder was like, Dunkin' Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts. But instead, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to the store. Because Dunkin' Donuts, I don't know if you know this, is 5 fucking miles away from me. The closest fucking Dunkin' Donuts is 5 fucking miles. It takes me like 20 minutes at the minimum to get to the closest fucking Dunkin' Donuts. Why it's that far, I don't fucking know. But I was willing, like my brain was telling me to go 5 miles away rather than to the store that's down the street to get milk. But I was like, no, I'm going to get milk from the store. As I'm going to my car, the little devil on my shoulder starts talking again. And he's like, go to the cafe down the street. There's a coffee shop down the street from me, which, mind you, has absolutely amazing vanilla lattes. I don't know what kind of vanilla that they make. They got to be making their syrup like in-house, but it is the most like rich vanilla bean taste that I've ever had before. Like it tastes like fresh vanilla. It's like amazing, like Madagascar vanilla, like some shit like that, you know? And it's so fucking good. And it's like one of those like bougie little like coffee spots. And so that's what was talking to me, because that's only a block away from me. Bitch, I could walk to that shit, you know? as I'm going to my vehicle, I'm thinking about it. But what did I do? I fought the voices. I fought the voices in my head. I was like, get in your car, put your music on, and just go to the store. And I did. And I went to the store and I bought myself my milk. And you know what else? I bought myself some more like super greens for my smoothie. Look at that commitment. Look at that commitment. That's insane. That is absolutely insane for somebody who literally would go out to eat for every single fucking meal. I would go out to eat. I'd order food. It wasn't even like healthy food that I could buy healthy food, but for some reason, no. Like I was just picking up whatever was like fast and easy. Like that's why I lived off of fucking Panda Express. Y'all know that. Y'all know I was fucking living off of Panda fucking Express. I was getting that shit. I was honest with you. I would be on here and I'd be like, yeah, y'all. So it's like my 4th time this week. I'm gonna get Panda Express for dinner. It was easy. It was easy. I knew that it became a problem when I walked into a location and there's this guy that works at like one of the locations. Yeah, I went to like all of them in my vicinity, you know, because I started learning which ones had like the best of what. And I'd be like, okay, if I want this today, like I need to go to this location, right? And so I knew it was a problem when I walked in. There's this one guy that works at this location, like he's always there. I walked in, he looked at me, he went to say like hello, how he normally like greets customers when they come in. But instead of saying hello, he like stopped and looked at me and said, oh, nice to see you again. That feels like you're getting a little bit too comfortable with me. I've become a familiar face that you're enjoying seeing now. No, I gotta stop. And it's the fact that I just said that I cycled through all of them, right? Like that's like 4 different like Panda Expresses in my area, right? I cycled through all of them and I still was ending up at that location enough for him to be like, oh yeah, it's nice to see you. Ugh. So that's when I really knew there needed to be a fucking change. Shout out to Soy XX Exante for subscribing. Thank you so much. But yeah, so I made a change in my life and I stopped doing that. And so what does that mean? I started eating at home. Yep. I started fucking eating at home. Y'all, when I tell you I'm a changed woman, I'm a fucking changed woman. Today, I woke up and instead of thinking, what sounds good to go out and eat? Bitch, I was thinking about what sounded good to cook. I was like, I'm gonna make chicken. I was like, I can make rice and beans. And then I was like, no, what if I decide? And I was like, what if I make Chinese food, but at home? Like I was cycling through all these recipes in my head. I was like, this is gonna be nice. I know, adulting, right? Isn't that crazy? And then I went for a fucking walk. Yep. Healthy. What the fuck? Went for a walk. While I was on my walk, I was thinking about what it is I'm gonna make for dinner. At first I was gonna make this whole elaborate dinner, but I realized I didn't have time for that tonight. So instead I settled on something else. And I'm going to tell you what it is that I'm eating tonight because I would like for you guys to go out and try it. I want you guys to try it. So growing up, my parents used to make one of the meals that they would cycle through that I absolutely fucking love. This was like a quick dinner that they would make. They would make Cuban sandwiches. That was very prevalent in my household. I absolutely love them. My dad would pick up the bolio bread. He would slap together a Cuban sandwich and use an iron and some tin foil to flatten the sandwich out. I fucking love that shit. So fucking good. A Cuban sandwich is so fucking good. Okay, right? But the thing is, I kind of switched it around. I kind of put my own twist on a Cuban sandwich. So it's not really a Cuban sandwich, but it's inspired by it. But I'm going to tell you how to make it because it's fucking phenomenal. And it's so basic, but what would you know? You know, like this shit is insane. It's basic and you're gonna be like, Jezabelle, this just sounds like a regular sandwich. Like I'm so serious. You guys have got to make it this week. It's also just a super cheap meal. So boom, go to the grocery store, right? Get yourself some bolio bread. Mind you, super random and off track. Woo, the economy is going to shit. And I recognized it when I went to pick up the bolio bread. Like, I've been hearing everybody talk about everything's expensive. And like, even I've been kind of aware of the fact that like, it's expensive. Like things have gotten pricier, right? But I didn't really it didn't click in my brain until I picked up bolio bread today. Bitch, you used to be able to walk into the store and get like a bag of 6 bolio breads, right? Sometimes even more than that. Like they just like wrap up whatever's left at the end of the day, throw them into a bag and throw them on the thing for like 99 cents, right? Bitch, it was $3 for 6 bolio breads. Don't even. So no. $3 for 6 of them? That's insane. What the fuck, right? That's what I'm saying. Like if you know bolio bread, like what? $3? I was upset. I actually picked it up and I was like, oh, like I scoffed. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? What the fuck? Yeah, you could get 6 for $1. Like that was insane to me, but I still bought it. I still bought it because I'm committed to making this sandwich tonight, right? It was fine. I'm about to damn near learn how to make the fucking bolio bread. Because $3? No. Anyway, so boom. Bolio bread. That's 1. 2, you need mayonnaise, okay? The mayonnaise, in all honesty, is optional. Because the real star of this show is yellow mustard. If you don't like... Are you good? No, but chill out, baby. It's okay. I have no idea what she's barking at. So boom. Nova. Anyway, I didn't hear anything. But okay, so boom. The real star of the show is yellow mustard. Now, if you don't like yellow mustard, grow up. I don't know. I don't know. Trust me. You just listen to me. Even if you don't like yellow mustard, you're going to have to try it, okay? You know what? One thing I've learned in life is that you have to at least try it. Even if you hated it growing up, every few years, try it. Whatever it is, if you hated it growing up, try it again and see if your taste buds change, because that's exactly how I was. My taste buds have changed for so many things. But boom, yellow mustard. So you got bolio bread, mayonnaise, and yellow mustard. Now, ham and cheese. The cheese part, I either do American cheese or I'll do Swiss cheese, whichever you would like, honestly. Tonight I'm feeling American, okay? This is the secret part, okay, of my sandwich. You need to get the sandwich sliced Clausen pickles. Specifically those. The kosher dill sandwich sliced Clausen pickles. Buddy. Now, if you know pickles, baby, there's 2 pickles that are on top. Clausen and what is it? Grillos? Is that how you say it? Those are the 2 that are on fucking top, okay? Now, if I'm getting spears or something, I'm doing Grillos, all right? But sandwich slices, Clausen. So what you're going to do is you're going to get home, you're going to assemble your sandwich. You're going to put mayonnaise on the bread, and you're going to put an ungodly amount of mustard. I'm so serious. An ungodly amount. Like, put a bunch of mustard and be like, that's enough. Like, that's a lot. And then put a little bit more, okay? Because I just need you to, like, visually understand, like, how much I put. I put a lot. Like, that mustard, you want that twang to come through, you know? That twang. You really want that. You're going to layer your ham. You're going to put your cheese. Put as much as you like, baby. This is cheese, ham. This is the filler. You put as much as you need, all right? As much as your heart needs. Now, if you don't have an iron or tin foil, that's okay. You can just do this in a pan, all right? You're going to put your sandwich in a pan and smush it down. Like you want your sandwich to go. When you put it in the bolio bread, it's going to be thick, right? It's going to be thick like a sub. You want it to be like a little sheet of paper. Like if you were to stack like 5 sheets of paper on top of each other, that you want it thin. Trust me, because then it gets crispy. Right? Yeah. You're going to flip it over, make sure you get it real thin, smush it down real hard, okay? Then when you take it out, cut it. But this is super important. You need to cut it. Is it diagonally? When you kind of cut it into triangles? I think it is. Ugh, my education is lacking. Whatever. The triangles way. That's how you need slanted. It changes the way that the sandwich tastes. You're going to open your sandwich back up and you're going to slip in the pickles. You don't want to put the pickles in before you smush the sandwich and cook it. Trust me. You don't want to do that because then your bread will get soggy and it'll like turn to mush. Okay? It's happened to me. I still ate it, but it's not the best. You want your bread to still be crispy and holding everything together, okay? So you need to put the pickles in afterwards. Plus, this will keep the pickles nice and crisp. Take a bite and change your life. Take a bite and change your life. I'm so serious. I told you this was going to be the most simple sandwich, but it's going to change your life. That shit, everybody that I have sat down and fed that sandwich, like I told them, I was like, this is going to be life-changing. It did. It was. Oh my God. Just thinking about it's getting me all riled up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I showed up early today, because I'm ready to devour that fucking shit. Oh my God, I think I'm going to have to. Fuck it. Ugh. Just thinking about it, it's like, it's titillating. You know, like makes your nipples hard a little bit. You don't understand. You'll understand once you try it. Once you try it. Sandwiches are so versatile. I don't think I've ever had a bad sandwich, truthfully. You'd be surprised. Bread, meat, and cheese. Honestly, bread and meat. Bread, meat, and mustard. What is that? Is that a pastrami? A pastrami sandwich? Y'all ever had a pastrami sandwich? Hold on a second. Don't nobody talk for a second. I need to think about that one. My God. Y'all ever had a pastrami sandwich? You don't need nothing but bread and the meat. Bread and the fucking meat. You get that? I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry right now. Do you know how hard I research when it's time to have a pastrami sandwich? Buddy, I won't go anywhere else except a Jewish deli. That is the only place I'm going. I'll be damned if I go and buy a pastrami sandwich from anywhere else. I need these people to know what they're doing. Damn, a pastrami sandwich. Hello? Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not even gonna read the rest of that sentence. You just said, hey, Jez, should I break up with my brother? Yo, bro, I'm not even gonna read the rest of what you just commented. I'm just gonna go off of that part right there and tell you abso-fucking-lutely. Why you're dating your brother in the first place? Where do you live? Tell me the state right now. I'm about to look up the local laws and I'm gonna call the police on you. That's not legal. I think the closest that you could get to that in Alabama is like your first or third cousin or something. Brother? No way you looked at your brother and said, yeah. What? That's disgusting. You know, how did we, I was talking about pastrami sandwiches. The vibes in here were good. What the fuck was that? She said, boyfriend, why did I read brother? Hold on a second. Typo? How do you accidentally type brother? Wait a damn minute. I need to see. Now she said boyfriend, but that says brother. I'm reading the word brother. Now boyfriend, she said BF. BF got 2 letters. Brother got a lot more, and that says brother. That's a crazy typo. Yeah, honestly, how do you make that? What is that called? The Freudian slip? That's what that was. You actually asking about your brother, but you meant to tell us boyfriend, but it came out. That's crazy. Don't let me find out. I'd call the police. That's crazy. Anyway, y'all. Damn, y'all be coming in here. That's crazy. You know, you're not the only person. I didn't read the rest of your message, but I get a lot of submissions on my like what would Jezabelle do of people asking me if they should break up with their significant other. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say to most of them, honestly. Like I've gotten some submissions of people who've sent me full-blown books. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I actually have to like maybe allot like 20 minutes out of my day just to read like one. Like, they send me everything. They give me the full-blown details behind everything so they could get like a real answer. And I'm like, bro, like, I can't answer that for you. Because you know what? I'm gonna be real with you. What you need to do is go on YouTube. You need to go on YouTube and look up like types of videos that's like, if you're considering breaking up with somebody, watch this. Y'all ever seen those like videos pop up where it's like maybe you'll just be scrolling and it'll be like, if you're going through this, watch this. or this video is finding you when you're going through this. A lot of those people, like I've seen hella like therapists and shit, like sit down and make these videos and kind of go through like all these different things. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that. Somebody said if you're debating breaking up with your significant other, just break up with them. They don't deserve someone having second thoughts, and you deserve better. See, there's a problem with that, because I feel like that is like such a broad statement to make. I feel like for a lot of situations that can be the case, whereas if you're debating breaking up, then you've probably been through some sort of suffering or something that's made you second guess your trust for the person or your love for the person or you know, but a lot of the time outside of that, it's almost like cold feet before you get married. Like you start thinking about everything and then wondering, like, do I want to spend the rest of my life with this person? And I feel like people forget that a relationship is hard fucking work. It's not easy. It's not. And I don't know if like social media or just or movies or the influences that we have in our life lead us to believe that relationships are easy, but they're not. I have a friend that is absolutely terrible in relationships, if you want me to be honest with you. They're terrible in relationships, but it's because, get this, their parents got a divorce right when the person turned 18 years old, because the person was going to be moving. And so the parents sat them and their siblings down, and they were like, okay, look, we're going to be honest with y'all. We're splitting up. And it was just kind of out of the blue for them, right? And low-key such a fucked up time to do it, because just turned 18 years old and was moving out to like move far away from the parents too, like leaving out of state to go to college. That's a bomb and a half to drop on somebody. They were one of those people that stayed together for the kids, right? Never. Oh God, it's worse on the kids, bro. It's worse on the kids. It's always worse on the kids. I don't even know why they think like staying together for the kids, bro. You're raising your children with a perception as to what love and marriage is. And then all of a sudden, like at 18 years old, because you stayed together for the kids, you snatch that whole entire idea away from them. That would ruin my perception on everything that they know is a lie. Everything that they know is a lie. That's insane. I can't even imagine going through that. So if you've gone through that, I'm so sorry. And I hope that you're recovering. I hope you're in therapy. I hope that you're okay. But anyway, so that happened to them. But the thing was, I asked them, I was like, did they ever show signs that like they were going to be like getting a divorce? And they were like, no, not at all. They had absolutely no fucking clue. They did everything normal, everything the same. Apparently this had been something going on for years. Like the parents had decided years prior that they were going to end things. So for them to continue on like everything was fine for years is like, this person's like fucked up from that shit. This person's like fucked up from that shit. And what makes relationships so difficult for this person now is because they kind of like, they don't know what to do. Their perception of what love was is completely skewed now, and they feel like they don't know what it is that they thought that they knew. And it's not only that, but they would say that their parents never argued in front of them. That was another huge thing. That's why this, again, was just kind of out of the blue. Their parents never argued. They never talked about anything in front of them. They only showed two parents coexisting together, like happy. They said they never did anything like in front of them. So these kids, they have no idea that, well, like if this is your perception as to what a marriage and love is, then when you get into a relationship and you start arguing with your significant other, you're going to think, wait a second, this is bad. This is wrong. We shouldn't be arguing. We shouldn't be disagreeing with each other. This never happened in my household. So I feel like depending on what you were raised to see is a relationship really impacts us in the future and impacts the way that we behave in our relationships. So like I said, somebody who's not used to seeing arguing, if arguing starts up in their relationship, their first idea might be to run and question everything. When in actuality, relationships are just, it's a roller coaster, dude. It's going to be good. It's going to be bad. It's going to be great. It's going to be okay. You're going to be jumping each other's bones one day, and then all of a sudden you're going to hit a dry spell for months. It's all natural. It's all very, very natural. And so that's why I feel like making the broad statement of like, if you're debating leaving your significant other, you should just leave. I feel like that doesn't really fit for everybody. I just feel like it doesn't fit, because there's going to be times where your strength in your relationship is really going to be tested. I promise you, in the healthiest of relationships, there's at least been probably one time where they had issues, where they debated in their brain, whether it was they discussed it amongst each other or they kept it to themselves. They thought, should I leave? Because that's just what happens. That's just what happens. There's so many gray areas. Exactly. And that's another reason why you have to realize, like, a one size fits all relationship does not exist. Your relationship is going to be absolutely nothing like the next person's. You will not find somebody that has the exact copy and paste replica, because you're two completely different people in a relationship. Completely different dynamics, completely different how you were raised, completely different consumption of media. Everything is so different. God, honestly, I feel like I'm making relationships sound bad, because like, you're gonna be lost, but no, I'm not trying to make a relationship sound bad. You just gotta, it's a new journey, and you just gotta be open to what's coming at you, you know? And the thing is, buddy, like, your relationship is gonna be different with every person too. My God, life is so confusing. Life is so crazy. Are y'all talking about the Venom movie right now? I haven't seen Venom. It was awful. You don't realize how much your parents' relationship affects the way you give and receive love. Yeah, no, that's a huge one. It's not only that, you know, parents aside as to how they loved each other in front of you, another thing is that how they love you also impacts your love language. So, an example of this would be, let's say a man is raised that his father provides everything for him financially, doesn't really give him gifts or anything, but just like provides for him financially, never really maybe talks about his love for him, but he always like makes sure things are paid for. Like, maybe his car note is paid for and he's got a roof over his head and he pays his phone bill and things like that. Like, he pays the bills. That's what this boy is raised as to. That's what a man, like, that's how a man loves. He provides, right? Then the girl, let's say her father raises her by just constantly showering her in gifts, buying her flowers all the time, buying her purses, buying her jewelry, you know, like giving her gifts all the time. So that girl's going to grow up, and her perception as to what her love language is most likely going to be receiving gifts or gift giving. That's what she's going to see as love. Meanwhile, the man sees, well, as long as your bills are paid, then like, you can tell that I love you. Like, I'm working hard to pay your bills. But they get together, they start dating, and she feels as though she's being neglected because he never buys her flowers. He doesn't buy her purses. He doesn't buy her jewelry. He doesn't buy her these random little things, throughout the candy that she likes. He doesn't just show up and surprise her with these things. But in his head, he's paid all the bills. He paid whatever rent is. He paid the utilities. So in his head, he's thinking, I worked hard. I provided for her. She knows I love her. Meanwhile, she's not getting the type of love that she feels that she needs. So love languages are so fucking crazy, dude. So fucking crazy. Our parents impact us so much, and it's so insane. This is why it's also important to learn your partner's love language. Very important. Because you'll end up in this cycle where it's like, neither of you is basically getting what you need. So since this person isn't getting what they need, they don't want to give the other person what it is that they need. And it just kind of keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. It's so important to learn your partner's love language. Damn. Okay. Subject switch up. because this has been on my mind, and I feel like we've had this conversation, right? I feel like I've talked about this before, but just in case anybody's new here, I say let's just touch on it because it's been on my mind, especially today. I was thinking about it pretty heavy, and I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older, and so in a nutshell, this is going to be one of those situations where a very older man goes after a very young woman. So let's say a freshly 18-year-old, right? And I feel like I kind of just like don't think about that situation very often until like randomly. And I just started thinking about it recently as I've gotten older, because I look at people that age that I was and think about how old he was. And I'm like, oh my God, I would like never do that. Like, what the fuck? We talked about one of these people before, but this is going to be a different guy. This is not the guy that sent me a picture of his ass. This is going to be a completely different person. This one's gonna, fuck. You know, I really wish I could say the names, but I'm not gonna say the names mainly because this is an A-list celebrity. We're talking about an incredibly famous actor. I'm not gonna say who, but a very incredibly famous actor. And, you know, honestly, what makes me think of it is that, so there's like a lot of trends that pop up every now and then on TikTok, and the trend will be like, oh, like I would feel safe like leaving my drink like with this person, and he pops up in so many people's videos where they're like, this guy, like I'd feel so safe like leaving my drink with him, like, oh yes, this guy, he's such a good man. And like I think about my experience with him and I'm like, you wouldn't, bitch. Like, so he didn't do anything to me, right? Mainly because I didn't let it get that far. But here's what happened. So I think we've talked about this before, but I used to live in this town. My hometown is this place where they film like hella movies and hella TV shows. Like so much stuff has been filmed there because the little downtown area is just like really cute. And it's the perfect little downtown area to like dress up as like whichever place. Like it's literally been turned into Taiwan before, like downtown, a little village in Taiwan. They turn it into like the big city, like they make it look like it's New York City there. But it's like the perfect place for movies and TV shows. So hella movies and TV shows come out there to film. Well, there was this huge TV show that was getting filmed out there. And I worked at one of the businesses that was downtown. And so when you work at the businesses, there was like a select few that they paid to stay open, which was my location and a coffee shop, just because like we had stuff that the actors might be interested in partaking in. And what they do is they pay for the business. They pay for like what the business would be missing out on. And then since we were open, they also paid a large sum for like product so that people could just walk in and take whatever they wanted and not pay. Right. So I'm just pretty much chilling and just waiting for somebody to come in and be like, I want this. And I'm like, have fun. There you go. Enjoy yourself. You know, nice to meet you. Bitch, it's so weird. So there was like an Instagram for the business that I worked at, and I didn't really like follow anybody on the business page except for like myself and like a few other people. So I was like, I actually can't remember. I'd have to go through my stories to like completely verify this, but I was either 17 or like freshly 18 years old when this took place. And I got a DM on Instagram, not onto the business profile, but my personal profile. I got a DM and it was said famous actor. I have no idea when he saw me, any of the situations, nothing, because I don't even think I saw him. Like in all the scenes that I saw that were filmed when I was like working, I never even saw him. So I don't know when he had an opportunity to see me, but he did, I guess, because he looked up the business on Instagram, then went through who the business was following on Instagram, and then messaged me. And he was like, hey. Bitch, I was young and I was like, you know, like when you're young and like someone who's older hits you, it's like they really take advantage of that, which is like crazy. When somebody is like older and you're younger, like you kind of, it's almost like they know that you're going to have this reaction where you're like, oh my God, like yup, I could pull older men. Like, yes, like, let's go. And so, like, you feel confident and cocky with it where you shouldn't. You should not feel confident and cocky with it. If you are young and you get a message from an older man, they know that you're feeling that way. They know that you're feeling that way. Okay, I want you to know that. It's not confident and it's not cocky. They're taking advantage of that shit. They're taking advantage of it. Because do you know how many young girls that I knew, like, growing up, that were, like, obsessed with, like, older men that were, like, hideous? Like, they weren't even fucking attractive. It was just the idea of being able to pull an older man. But trust me, they're taking advantage of you. So if you're young and you're watching this, because I know that some of y'all are younger than you are supposed to be in here. I'm not saying nothing. As long as you're not participating, but you're just viewing, that's fine. But listen, you got an older man that's messaging you, you better stop. I'm not playing with you. You need to stop, because when you get older, you're going to think back and you're going to regret it if anything has even happened with him. You're going to look back at that situation and be disgusted with the fact that he even felt comfortable talking to you. It's like crazy, right? But anyway, you don't think about it when you're that age. All you think about is like, oh, I've got this. Like, I could pull this, right? He tells me, he's like, hey, I'm like, hello. You know, I respond, I'm like, hi. And he's like, he tells me he's in Atlanta, sends me the location for his hotel. And he's like, I'm going to be back there like tonight around this time. He's like, I would absolutely love to like have you over, like inviting me to his hotel and shit. I told him no. I just made up some excuse. I was like, oh, like, I'm not going to be able to, like, drive up there. I told him that, like, I didn't live in Atlanta. I told him that I lived in the town that I was in. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to drive up there tonight. Like, I'll be working too late, right? He never responded. He just, I think that he said, like, oh, okay, like, let me know if, like, that changes. Or, like, he didn't respond. It was, like, one of those, right? That's really it. There's nothing more to the story. I just think about that. And I think about, what if I had gone there that night? Because there's no way that I was like the only girl. First of all, okay, the first thing that actually goes through my head is like, did he know? Did he think that I was older? Or did he know that I was younger? Because here's the thing. To me, at this age, 18-year-olds look like children. That's what I think. Like, if I see an 18-year-old, like, you kind of, like, I would probably confuse you. There's times where I swear to you, I've probably looked at 18-year-olds and thought, that's a 14-year-old. Like, that's a child. That's a fucking child, right? Like, who is it right now? Ooh, somebody tell me. There's, like, this famous guy. What is he, though? He's, like, is he in the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Or am I wrong? I'm so sorry if I'm wrong. But, like, he's, like, some famous guy in a band, and he's, like, 40 something or something like that, and he's like with a fresh like 18-year-old right now, like dating her, like that's his girlfriend. Like, do y'all know who I'm talking about? I don't know, but I saw a picture of them basically, and people are like, I think I saw it on Twitter, and people are talking about it because people were saying like, is it legal? Like, yeah, technically, like she's 18 years old, but like it feels like, because like this is how I feel about the situation, and I feel like it's it might be like such a controversial opinion to have, but is it legal for somebody who's significantly older to be like with somebody who is 18 years old? Technically, yes, it's legal, but that makes you like begin to question, is the only thing that's stopping you from going younger the law? Like, if the law said that she could be 16 and with anybody, like, would you do that? If the law said that as long as they were 14, like, would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit, it's just odd, you know? And so the first thought that I have about the whole situation in my head is like, did he just know I was 18 years old? Because I don't think, you know, back then when I was 18 years old, I used to think like, ooh, like I look like an older woman, like da 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 da. But like now that I'm older, I look back and I'm like, you do not look like an older woman. You in fact look like you were a teenager. So it's just like super fucking weird. Super fucking weird. He didn't even ask. That's what's even crazier, is he didn't DM me and begin a conversation and then ask me what my age was. He was just like, hey, come to my hotel. Oh. Bitch, I need to look up and see. This could be a side note, but I need to look up and see if he was at any of those Diddy parties. I need to see if he's in any of those pictures. What if he is? I'm not going to name drop because since we're talking about somebody who's like really famous, that's where lawsuits and shit like that come into play. So I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not giving nothing. I'm literally not even going to give even the slightest hints. That's why I didn't talk about the place that I worked at or the town that I was in, because I didn't want anyone to even attempt to try to put two and two together. But like that shit is, it's just, and then like I constantly see videos, like I said, of people talking about like, oh, like I would feel totally comfortable like leaving my drink alone with this person, and he's in those videos, and every time I see it I'm like, you just don't know. And I remember I've literally never told anybody at all the story. I don't think I've like talked about this like situation, this scenario to like maybe two people, but I didn't even tell them the name. I remember there was only one time where I felt compelled to want to tell somebody the name, and it was when my friend, actually, this was when I was like a junior in college or something. There was a trend online of people talking about like who they would feel safe leaving their drink around, and my friend posted a video, and it was just of the guy. Like she didn't post anyone else, she just said I would totally feel comfortable leaving my drink with this guy, and like talking about how much she loved him. And I wanted to tell her so bad. I was like, bitch, you don't even know. ah! 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 How old was he? I actually don't know how old he was at the time. He had to have been like, I don't know. He was significantly older. That's for sure what I know. He was significantly older. Somebody said something about if you have proof, you're good. Now I don't even want to start that like whole thing. I'm pretty sure that the DMs are still there, unless he. I don't think that like the DMs might actually still be there. I wonder if they are. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I have to look him up. Hold on, because I wonder if they are still there. Let me see. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. This is so crazy because I can't remember if it was on this Instagram or if I used to have an old Instagram, so I don't know if that happened on this one or the other. Oh, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to see. Okay. Oh my god. Either I'm blocked or he deleted his Instagram. Bitch, they're still there. Ah! Oh my God, they're still there. And the conversation didn't just end there. He also tried to invite me out to like meet up, like outside of work. And then I was like, oh no. And I told him that like I was leaving for a ski trip, because I was leaving for a ski trip actually with friends. Bitch, oh my God. That's so crazy. Flip my phone quick. Hell nah. Oh my God, the messages are there. I wasn't expecting that. Oh my God. I'm not gonna say who it is, y'all. I'm not gonna say who it is. That's crazy though. But yeah, no, I think about that situation all the time. That's so, and you know what's even more insane is that this is something that most women go through, that they'll, when they're younger, they have like these older men come after them. But that's been happening to me since I was a child, since a literal child. I'm not even joking. I have this one story, but I feel like I shouldn't even tell it because it just makes me feel like gross, and I feel like it would just make you guys feel gross too if I even elaborated more on it. Ugh. Ew. Just ew. It's so gross. That's crazy. A sophomore hanging out with a 20-year-old? Oh my God, I remember that being, you know what's, okay, this one is also very, okay, so this like, it ties into it, but I don't know. This might be controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. For some reason, I feel like boys grow up, like they become men, and like when you talk to like a man about when they were younger, because like this is something that happens a lot that I feel like nobody talks about, but boys are like dating older women or like getting together with older women. Like I knew a significant amount of like boys, like not men, not teenagers, boys who hooked up with grown fucking women. And that's one that we don't talk, like women talk about, like how I said, like most women like go through like being preyed on by like older men, and it's like fucking weird. But the man one, and what's so crazy is like they brag about that shit too. And like even when they become men, a lot of them still like, they'll be like, yeah, when I was like 16 years old, like there was this 24-year-old woman that like I was like hooking up with, or like I was dating. Like, bitch, you weren't dating, you weren't hooking up with nothing, you were being touched. You are a victim. And then the part that gets me is that you'll tell them that they're a victim and they'll be like, no, like I wanted to do it. No. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. You are a victim. But like, no, you were a child. That should not have happened. My God. That's what, like, when I tell you, I remember talking to boys. There was like, I remember when I was 16 years old, there was this boy that I had like this huge crush on, right? And that crush dissipated very quickly because I remember I had like, he went to my high school. I was 16. I was like, no, I was 15. I was a freshman in high school. And he was like, I think he was a sophomore, and I had the biggest crush on him. And he was like the best friend of like one of my friends. And so he had given me his number, and I was like texting him, and he was like, where are you at? Like, I'll come to you. And he came to like the hallway that I was on, right? And he came to talk to me in the hallway. And like, this is why the fucking crush dissipated so quickly, because the first conversation he had with me in person was literally him asking me if I was a virgin. Bitch, what the fuck? I didn't even think about sex yet. Like, 15 years old, I wouldn't even think about that shit. I still had the child brain, bro. Still had the child brain. And so I was like, yeah. He's like, you've never had sex with anybody. Like, you're lying. And I was like, I'm not lying, bud. Are you good? And he was like, I'm not a virgin anymore. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, when did you lose your virginity? Because I'm talking to a boy that's damn near the same age as me. Like, how long ago? Because was it recently? Was it recent? Because what? This man told me at 11 years old. he said that to me. And although I didn't know much about sex or know much about anything, I knew that boy had been touched. I thought to myself, like, I didn't say it to him, but I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I think that my literal reaction was just, I'm sorry? What? Like, 11? And then he broke it down to me. Like, oh my God. He broke it down to me too. He explained to me, he was like, it was with an older girl. I think like he said that he was 11 and it was with his babysitter that was like 17. And when he said that, I was like, who? What? I'm not even going to give you the details that he gave me because he got a little bit too detailed with it. But like, he was bragging to me about it. And do you know how many boys, like I said, turn into men and then brag about it? Like, girls talk about when they lose their virginities, and I feel like most girls, it's like typically around like probably 16 to 17 years old, right? But every time I've talked to a guy and asked them when they lost theirs, it was so insanely young. It's always been between like 11 to 13 years old. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing at 11 to 13 years old? Are you serious? And I feel like that, and you, a lot of them, you have this conversation with them and they'll tell you, you'll be like, you're a victim. They'll be like, no, I'm not. Oh my God, it makes me think of those people that like, have y'all ever seen those situations where like a teacher, like a woman, like gets arrested? She's like a teacher for like sexting like one of her students or something that's like 16 years old, or like having like a relationship outside of school with like her student or something. And like when she gets arrested and she's like, they put her mugshot and everything on the news, like there'll be like hella men that protect her and be like, oh, like they don't know, they don't understand that this is actually a blessing. Like if I was 16 years old, like, oh yeah, like he's lucky. That is a victim. What are you talking about? Oh my God. I feel like I see that every single time that there's something that comes out about like a woman that's a teacher and she's been doing something like with a student. Y'all ever had somebody at your school like that? There was somebody at my school that was like that. Ooh. Okay, boom. Damn, we were kind of an odd conversation today. We'll let this podcast is for awareness. These are awareness stories. So like if you've been through anything like this, you're not alone. If you are younger and watching this, baby, get away from these people, okay? Don't listen to anything they put in your head. They are manipulating you, okay? Get out of the situation. But we'll end on this story, okay? So boom. I think I've talked about this, but I think it was a long time ago. Like I don't think it's in any of the podcast episodes. Oh my God. I think the last time I talked about this was last year. Okay, so boom. When I was in high school, we had a gym teacher that was a girl, and that bitch was weird. I'll just be real with you. That bitch was weird, and every girl in school knew that bitch was weird. It was to the point where like the girls in school that would like start dating other boys, like we would try to convince like the boys that we were talking to or dating to like not take her class, like to take the other gym teacher's like class. Like if you have to take gym, then please take the other teacher, do not take her. Like we knew shit was fucking weird, and there was so much stuff that like so many rumors that went around about this teacher. Like she was pretty much known for this. How the office didn't get wind of this, I don't know. Maybe they're sweeping shit under the rug, but like this was a very talked about thing. And ooh bitch, this tea is so fucking hot. Ugh. Okay. So she was one of those teachers that was like, she was younger, like maybe like early 30s. And she would like flirt with like the students. Like she'd like flirt with like the male students, kind of. Not enough that she'd be like, oh, like you're cute, but it'd be more like, stop, like, oh my God, like no, like get away from me, like what you doing, like you're like stuff like that, right? But then when it would come to the female students, like she would get rude with them. Like she'd get rude with the female students. She was never really nice to any of the female students at all. But she would be like very overly nice and just like touchy with the boy students and like play fighting with them. Super weird fucking shit. Well, there was like a rumor going around. Yeah, and very public about it too, mind you. Very public about it. There was like a rumor going around of her like sleeping with like basketball players and shit. And okay, so Oh my God. It's such a crazy story because she had been working at the high school for like years, like way before I ended up in high school, right? But when I got into high school, this new teacher came on when I was like a sophomore, and he was the engineering teacher, and I took his class because the engineering class in high school is always so fucking fun. I took his class, and I'll be real with you. This was a very attractive man. This was a very, very attractive man. Very young, very handsome, right? And all the girls loved this man. Like, suddenly, every girl wanted to take the engineering classes, right? And he was married to that coach. And I remember, like, some students literally tried to tell him, like, your wife is fucking weird. Like, she's a hoe. Like, I legitimately remember, like, boys telling him, like, your wife's a hoe. Can you imagine your students telling you that shit? Can you fucking imagine that? He worked there, so he was probably there for like 2 years, maybe 2 years. Bitch, I should look it up. I should look them up and see if they're still together. Okay, I might do that tonight. Fuck, I don't. Oh, he had such a like basic name. It's probably gonna be hard to find him. It's like literally like, it's damn near like John Smith, like type of like basic name. Anyway, where are we at? Okay. People are basically throwing it in his face. He's been working there for a while. All of a sudden, Coach Lady gets pregnant. Coach Lady gets pregnant. Let me also throw out there that like she was like friends on Facebook with like boys from the school and boys from like the football team, which I'm pretty sure is like not allowed, because I specifically remember like teachers telling us like when we'd be graduating, like when you guys turn 18 years old, like feel free to like, you know, like, or people would like friend them on Facebook. They'd be like, yeah, like people are friending me on Facebook. I just want to let you know I cannot accept your friend request. Like I have to wait till you graduate from this school to accept your friend request. So like they would say shit like that, but she was literally like friends with folks on Facebook. So boom, she gets pregnant. There's a lot of speculation. A Lifetime movie. Like seriously, this should be a fucking movie. There's a lot of speculation around the school as to whose baby that was. Whose baby is that? Again, mind y'all, she'd been at this school for how long? Like, cause she had been there before me, like years before me. I think she'd been working at the school at least like 6 or 7 years. She is pregnant. At about 8 months, when she should be popping it out, she's gone. She left. She wasn't at the school anymore. Now you'll probably think, oh, like maybe she was just on like maternity leave. No, she never came back. Never came back. And you know who else left? Her husband. Neither of them. They were just both gone. I remember she went on maternity leave and he was like, he told the class like she's on maternity leave. And then all of a sudden, like he never returned. He left eventually too and just never returned. So I'm not sure what happened. That's shady as fuck. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure what happened with that situation. I'm not sure what happened with that situation. I fully believe it though. You know, like this is all speculation and rumors because I definitely didn't have proof of anything. But all I know is that she was very flirtatious with a lot of the boys, with pretty much all the boys, especially the boys on the baseball and the football team. And she was friends with a lot of them on Facebook, which is fucking weird. And then the boys would even talk about her being a hoe. And there's just like a select few like boys that I know for a fact would have tried it. Definitely would have attempted it. I wonder. But yeah, it's all speculation. I mean, I could try to find them tonight on Facebook and then see what the baby looks like. Because my whole life, honestly, you want to know what I think happened? Because this is just a random assumption too, because I never looked into it further after this. But I think that baby popped out not looking like he was the father. Not looking like he was the father. That's what I think. I think that baby popped out looking very different. And I'm gonna look into it, y'all. He probably found out what was going on and just moved out of embarrassment. No, honestly, like I said, because how can you imagine like starting to work at the same school? Like, he wasn't a teacher before that, mind you. He wasn't a teacher before that. I forgot what his job was, but he was not a teacher before that. This was his first time becoming a teacher. So he became a teacher at the school that his wife has been working at for like 6 or 7 years. And then your first year here, the male students are telling you, yeah, your wife's a hoe. Oh my God. Do you know how fucking awkward that conversation is that you have to fucking have with your significant other? The car ride home, like the first day that people said that to him, like the car ride home had to be so weird. Cause like, how do you even bring that up? Like, what do you say? Like, why are the students telling me that you're a hoe? That's so fucking crazy. That's so crazy. Immediate divorce, very much. That whole situation is crazy, y'all. What? Oh my God. So somebody just said I had my middle school computer teacher comment hard eyes on my Facebook after I graduated. He was 60 when I was 13. My mom has an even fucking crazier story. So she has this she got written proof. She has this yearbook from when she was in 8th grade. And when she was graduating from 8th grade, she had this like male teacher that she told me was like always really weird towards her. And he signed her yearbook and he wrote like this little like love letter pretty much to her in the yearbook. Like it took up like a very large portion of like the back cover. And like at the end of it, like he signed with like hearts and was saying that he would like miss her and shit. That's fucking crazy. Like written proof is insane. Written proof is insane. Okay, yeah. I'm going to look up tonight and then I'm going to update you guys on Wednesday how that one went. Because, oh my God. Another thing, I don't remember the love note completely, but just like I remember bits and pieces. I also remember him in the love note, he had complimented like the dress that she was wearing and said she looked very beautiful, and like the blue dress that she was wearing, because on her last day of school she wore like this blue dress. Like, can you imagine a teacher like, what the fuck do you hand your yearbook to the teacher to think he's gonna write hags on that shit, have a great summer, and you get a fucking love note back in 8th grade? Bro, let this be a reminder, people. You know, at movies and shit like that, make you think that the scary person or the person that you need to fear or the serial killer or the bad guy out there in the world is some scary, ugly man, some random guy walking down the street, some homeless person, somebody that's a hardened criminal. Like, they make you think that they're going to be like this, but no. Bitch, they're in the school system. Bitch, it's your uncle. It's your cousin. It's your teacher. It's your manager. Like, it's people that you know. It's the people that you least expect. Like, who was it? John Wayne Gacy was, what was he? The town fucking loved him, bro. The town loved him. He used to dress up as like a clown for like the town, and everyone loved him. It's the people that you least fucking expect, bro. And that's actually what my mom used to tell me growing up. She used to like make sure that I was like educated on stuff like about this, and she would tell me that like my mom never wanted to leave me alone with anybody. Like growing up, my parents never let me go to like over to other people's houses. If I got to go over to another person's house, they had to meet the parents, and typically they'd only want the mom to be present, and like I could only stay there for like a couple hours. But like, no, I wasn't really allowed to go anywhere, and I'd get thoroughly questioned before I went and after I went, and they monitored like what clothing I took and what I wore. And my parents would never even leave me alone with like family members, for real. Like, they left me alone with like my grandparents and stuff, but like they never left me alone just by myself, like with a male or even a female. Like it would have to be me and my brother got left with like someone that they knew very, very well. They were very protective over that shit. And like every few years they would sit me down and like talk to me about it. They'd be like, hey, okay, so like, is there anything you want to tell us? Is there anybody that makes you uncomfortable? And they would heavily monitor me whenever we would go to like family gatherings. They would like see how I interact with people. And I remember one time I got mad at this one family member, literally just because he was trying to take the scooter that I was riding. And when I got like really upset at him for trying to take the scooter, my dog like barked at him too, because like he could tell that I got upset. And I went and sat next to my dog, and my parents immediately came over to me and they're like, why you get so mad at him? Why'd you get so angry? Like you got really angry just now. Like, why'd you get so angry? Has he done something? Like immediately started questioning me. And I was like, what the fuck? He just wanted to take my fucking scooter. They were heavy on that shit because they know for a fact that it's the people that you least fucking expect. That's what's crazy. What a crazy podcast today, y'all. Oh my God. I came in here early because I wanted to eat my sandwich, but the tea just was too fucking insane. Too fucking insane. And it's even crazier because every now and then I've been glancing at the chat and seeing that you guys are talking about like similar stuff that you've been through. And holy shit, buddy, all we can do is just try our best to protect the next generation. Try our best to protect our kids. That's all we can do. Shit's really crazy out here. Really crazy. Great parents. Yeah, my parents were great. You missed most of the podcast, so I'm happy you were still able to make it in the end. But yeah, all right, y'all. I hope that you're all doing okay. You know, kind of a crazy chat. Let's try to take a deep breath and get it all out afterwards. Sometimes it's good to talk about this stuff because it's real shit. This is what's really going on in the world. I hope that you guys had a great fucking weekend. I didn't even talk about what I did this weekend. We'll touch on it on Wednesday, maybe. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I hope that you sleep very well tonight and wake up feeling great because tomorrow's going to be a great day. Get the sandwich stuff and try the sandwich because I'm going to want you to come back and tell me on Wednesday that you ate it and it changed your life, because I'll be here on Wednesday to tell you about how life-changing it was for me, even though it's my millionth time eating it. I love you guys so much. Good night, everybody.